I'm going to call this meeting to order at 4:01 p.m. Roll call.
Member Brown, Member Childs,
Present.
Member Jackson,
Present.
Chair Frazier.
Present.
You have a quorum.
Comments from guests? Come up to the podium. Yes.
Blessings this afternoon, everyone. My name is Alene Smith, and I'm coming because my baby, who is 40-some years old now, is buried in the Children's Cemetery right on Crystal Avenue on the street side, and we went there this Monday after Memorial Day, and it was filled with leaves. I started crying. I was so upset. I left, and I came and I called the city manager's office. I left the message, I didn't get an answer, to complain. Memorial Day, we went up to my husband's grave at Battle Creek. It was beautiful. Everything was manicured. Across the street, and then come back here, my mom and dad are buried in the back part of the cemetery. It was unreal. My sister-in-law and her sister were out there cleaning and raking. I went home, got my twin. We went back with our rakes and our gloves to clean where the babies are. I don't understand. You look across the street at the Catholic cemetery, it's manicured and together. Our cemetery was awful. I took pictures of it with the young lady in the manager's office called and got 3 people were out there with tractors. I left my van open, they kept on mowing as I was there. The van got all dirty, but I cleaned that up. But I don't understand why that part of the cemetery is not closed. We all know Memorial Day is coming. It shouldn't be just for Memorial Day, but you have people coming from all over to visit their relatives or grave sites. I was appalled. I have never in my life seen anything that looked like, the leaves were like this and this high all over my baby's grave and the other babies that are out there. The back was not manicured either. So I came to complain.
Mr. Mitchell. Mr. Mitchell. Mr. Campbell is supposed to be taking care of the cemetery.
He was there. He came up when we came the second time.
Okay. But the other side was,
He told me at 160-something acres or something. And you should understand. And he said those were last year's leaves. That's what he said to me.
Ms. Smith and I talked, was it the after Memorial Day?
It was Monday after. Well, let's
Tuesday.
see. We were there, Memorial Day was Monday. Yeah, well,
It was Tuesday. Yeah. We talked on Tuesday and I talked to Mr. Campbell also. And he was out there working on it. I don't know what happened on that day.
it wasn't very good. Well, I was fine until he said to me, I should understand those were last year's leaves. And I was just so upset, so I had to apologize. I didn't swear. I just started screaming, that's my baby, that's my baby. You know, and I don't understand why our cemetery isn't kept manicured. I just don't understand.
okay. That's
Now,
very,
my sister-in-law, Vanessa Whitfield, told me she went in to find out where somebody was. And the man with whoever has the records, she said the papers were all messed up in the book, and she said it was not nice. So that's what she told me. I was hoping she would come to me. But I really am just, it is distressing
Mhm.
to think that, those are our people.
I agree. And I wholeheartedly,
And
I
I
feel,
took pictures.
okay, and I wholeheartedly feel for you. And I know we have been vigorously working on a plan. So I do say on behalf of myself and the board that I duly apologize, and this is going to be addressed.
Okay, I
'Cause
don't know your name, I'm sorry.
My name is Charmaine Frazier.
Okay. If they need some volunteer help, I'd be glad to go and work that office. I'd be more than happy to. I appreciate you listening.
Yes, that's what we're here for.
And we're very sorry about that, because we not understanding that.
It hurts, it really, really hurts. And I don't want to offend anybody, but it's just not right.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thank you.
Thank you,
No.
thank you for listening.
Bruce Buster, right? Grand Rapids, Michigan. We've heard that story before, haven't we? I'm aware that you haven't been able to do your job as a cemetery board for quite some time. I have provided consultation to many groups and projects. I have written operational guides for nonprofits and for the FedEx Corporation. These guides were intended to help individuals better understand their role or position. As I've stated several times previously, when I'm asking questions or pointing things out, they're simply opportunities. I'm not pointing fingers at you personally. I do encourage you to exercise more oversight into the operations of both Morton and Crystal Springs cemeteries. That means you need to visit there more often. Attend commission meetings. Attend committee meetings. Speak up, because not only do you serve on this board, you are residents, you are citizens of Benton Harbor. I'm on your side and will continue to ask, what can I do to help? A question, I think I probably know the answer to it, but are you aware that the city paid $2,500 to remove a tree out at Crystal Springs last month?
No.
The invoice stated 5 trees at $500 each. There weren't 5 trees. Now, the one tree that fell was worth all of $2,500. But my question is, if it's one tree and it's worth $2,500, then put one tree, $2,500 on the invoice. Don't monkey with it and do something that says 5 at $500. As a side to that tree falling, it's over near the Crystal entrance. A large headstone was knocked over and is still lying on the ground. I think George, I asked him about it, and he has communicated a couple times with Public Works to see about getting something done. In the past, speaking of headstones, I had presented you photos in January of where the snowplows had cut into the actual cemetery when they were plowing the road. And a number of headstones were moved and shifted, and they're still in that same condition. Question for you. Have any of you seen plans for the road repairs or the office repairs?
For the office repairs, yes. I want to say for the road repairs as well.
Okay. Do you have any of you know the schedule for repairs to the bridge?
No. Mm-mm.
We heard last year that some repairs were recommended, so, okay.
Well, I did see, if I may interrupt you, I did see on a post on Facebook that there are going to be repairs made to the bridge.
As a part of the full package.
Okay,
Condition work done on the bridge and on the road, right?
so is it in writings and set in stone with dates and, okay, I need a copy of that?
Okay.
And Madam Chairperson, have you been shown the resumes or credentials of those that were interviewed for the cemetery position yet?
No.
No, we have.
So I understand Ms. Brown shared at a previous meeting that you as a board had delegated your role, your position, so to speak, responsibilities to Mr. Mitchell some time ago. May I ask if that was done formally, or was it just kind of a conversation, word of mouth? Do you recall?
I don't. I can't say that I was,
You weren't on the board.
yeah, I was gonna say, I don't
Before
think,
you.
yeah, exactly.
I think that may have led to the previous chair moving on. Well, anyway, I just asked because all these things kind of come back to you as a cemetery
Right.
board. At some point in time, hopefully you will have taken back your role, your responsibility as members of the cemetery board. And when that happens, you need to be prepared and ready to run, with all that entails. So, anyway, again, I'm on your side, just trying to figure out what else I can do. So, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
May I say something else? When he brought up the roads, I just turned around and said to my sister, have any of you driven out there?
Yeah,
Potholes. The roads need to be repaired also. I forgot that. I should have written everything down and I didn't.
Now, we do have quotes and write-ups and plans, and I plan on getting with Mr. Mitchell to see what that schedule looks like, because I am very aware that it is in very bad
My
condition.
sister-in-law said she had to go home to get water. So there's no water out there either. I didn't realize that until I forgot what's wrong.
Okay.
Heartbreaking.
Any other comments from guests? Written complaints? Approval of meeting minutes, May 9th, 2023.
I move that we approve the meeting minutes of March 9th, 2020.
I second it.
Okay, motion by Childs, second by Frazier. Roll call. Member Childs,
Yes.
Member Jackson,
Yes.
Chair Frazier.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Old business update on cemetery property / road ground repairs.
Madam Chair and Board, those repairs that we talked about are all part of the road and alley plan. If you recall, all of that's planned to be resolved.
So where exactly are we with that? You said plan.
Yes, it's scheduled. We know when it's started.
The alleys have started.
It's already started.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
the alleys
they're
have
preparing the
already
roads too,
started,
yeah.
and so it's already begun. But the repairs at the cemetery have not begun yet.
Okay, do we have a schedule or timeline for that?
No, it'll As soon as they get through with the hours,
Okay,
they'll be moving over there.
so this is in writing then, right? Correct? Okay,
It's plain.
I need to get a copy of that. So the board and I can be abreast of what's going on and when.
Okay.
Because what I don't like is being sideswiped and not knowing what's going on. And where are we with hiring for?
I want to ask you, the board, to have a meeting with the one person that I'm looking to hire.
Okay,
Now, I want it to be clearly understood. If I'm hiring someone, I don't need to have somebody come behind me to okay it. My hiring is usually what I want, who I want to hire. And I've done an interview with 2 commissioners and myself. And haven't hired the lady yet, but I want you to meet her. I'll ask her to come today, but she couldn't make it today. So she says that give her a time when that's good for you, the board, and she'll come in and meet with you. And I'd like to get her started probably with the new year, July 1st.
okay, but with that being said, I would think if you're hiring someone, that we would have input on that,
You have
especially
input.
myself.
Yes, you have input.
Okay, and so there's only been one person interviewed?
Only one person, and one person only who has experience working at the cemetery and having worked on the books.
And so was this job posted, or how did that
It
come
ca-
about?
It came about when we tried to find out who had experience working at the cemetery.
And how did you
If that-
how did you find that out?
We found that out by going back and seeing who had worked at the cemetery.
So through previous records?
That is correct. And then talked to the person, and then brought the person in, and we've had her in 2 or 3 times to make sure that we've got somebody that really knows what she's talking about doing.
So,
The job description, will we receive a copy of the job description, so when we interview and we'll know?
We'll have that package for you.
Okay.
so included will be the job description and her resume.
Yes.
Update on grounds, upkeep, flowers, etc., notification to families. So is this what we just received? That packet?
That is a package of the changes that I made to the rules, the floral and grave decoration rules.
Mm-hmm,
You remember this sheet?
correct.
Okay. That is the new sheet.
So where is this gonna be posted?
Everywhere.
Okay, so it'll be
It's-
actually visible, not
Yes.
if you're going in and making arrangements, but actually visible if you're just a
Now,
visitor.
On the website,
Okay,
and it might be there already, Bert. The rules,
We've got them on the door, but I think that old one near the office, I don't think it's there anymore.
it's not there anymore.
I think so.
Okay, it was on the door,
mm-hmm,
but this will be replaced. And it'll be part of the package that's given, and it's still a part of the package that's given to people when they come in to make arrangements.
Yeah, I asked George to give them rules and regs.
So this will be the replacement once it's okay by the board.
okay, so
Y'all can look it over and see if there's anything you want on it.
okay, so my question is this. This is all fine and dandy, but we all know the majority of the stuff that gets put on these cemeteries are not by people that's making these plans. So I'm requesting that we have something posted throughout the cemetery, some type of signs that explain this.
It will be at the front office. Posting this out in the rain is not gonna. In the
We
weather,
couldn't do
it's
like
not
an aluminum, like a couple aluminum signs at the entrance.
That's where the building, at the entrance is where the building is.
No, I'm like, like how they're like stop signs and street signs. I'm referring to signs like those that can take the weather.
We'll look into it.
Okay.
Okay.
Because nobody's gonna go to the building when they're out there visiting.
They're not gonna look at the sign.
No. Uh-uh.
But look these over, see if there's anything you want to add. Do you think needs to be there? And with that is a package of what the violations are that we're talking about correctly.
So starting July the 6th, they're gonna start, if they haven't been removed, these items, they're gonna start removing.
These items are probably old items and probably are removed already by now. But this is what has led to this.
Right.
Need to change. And we'll put a drop dead date on them so that they can know when to change. I want to just say to Miss Smith and her sister both, and you and I talked. I wish you had called me back,
I did.
and well, you didn't get me.
I left a message on your voicemail.
That's best thing. If you can't get me, talk to Rona. Talk to Rona.
I did, I left a message on
You
her
left a
voicemail,
message.
and then I talked to her yesterday.
Okay. Well, I was out of town last week, so wasn't here. But I would have followed up to find out exactly what would happen. And we have people cutting the yards that they don't have the answers. Hold me responsible for that, okay? And because had I known that had happened, I could have been out there. As a matter of fact, when I called him, he said he was gonna meet you out there
He did,
and he was gonna go through everything with you.
he talked.
And he still didn't get it taken care of.
Yeah, they took care of it, but we were out there waiting and had our gloves on and Darlene had this thing in their face again. They all got to working. Because I just lost it. I did again.
Well, if you recall during our conversation, I told you that we would make sure that they took care of it.
Not to go with
And
you guys. I want
right.
to see my baby's grave cleared.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. We're gonna go every 2 weeks and check that
Okay.
site.
Let me know what you find.
I will.
Thanks.
And just to add to that, if I can get does he have a set schedule where he goes out there?
Set schedules what the grass is doing.
Okay.
And he probably does have a schedule.
Does he have help?
He has a team. He has a team of employees.
Well, we need a copy of that. Because, I mean, those old leaves, that's unacceptable.
In the county, they were last year's.
Yeah, that's unacceptable.
And I felt bad about it.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes,
How does he know that those are last year's leaves?
That's what he told me.
Exactly. Whether it was last year or this year, it shouldn't have happened.
That's the question, right?
Yeah. So just to have a schedule, and I'll go back over that contract as well. But just to have a schedule, and if you're getting paid for work that you're not completing, that's definitely not okay. Not in my book, and not on my watch.
I know,
And that's
I know
not-
I'm sitting in my seat, but everybody knows Memorial Day is coming. Everybody, all of us in this room know Memorial Day is coming. It's in our,
And that is why,
cleaned up.
we got those cutters signed up on contract, gave them assignments, and expected them to have done their work. Yeah, so when I don't know that it's not done, or when, in this case, you call
That's why
them,
I called you and Rona.
And what I'm going to do, especially being the chairperson, I will make it my business to go out there once every 2 weeks myself and drive around and even walk around the state, because again, that's definitely not that's unacceptable. Point blank period, it just is. So
drive around, don't walk around.
that's what I said. I can use exercise, but
That's winter, you know, the tree gets there in the winter. There's nothing you can do.
right. And spring has passed and now it's summer, so yeah. New business, transfer of funds for burials.
Okay, from the dates of May 17th to June 13th, the amount is $34,075.
I make a motion for the funds to be transferred.
A second.
Motion by Frazier, second by Childs. Member Jackson,
Yes.
Member Childs,
Yes.
Chair Frazier.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Comments from the board? I'll start with Member Childs first.
Thank you for your comments and complaints, but it helps us to be aware as to what's going on, what's not going on about the cemetery, that we can be able to see that it takes place. Thank you for your comments. I'm glad to see that we're gonna be moving forward and getting the work done on the roads, because they've been banned for a long time. Last time I was out there for a funeral, and you dodge and they're not, some of them are not shallow, they're pretty deep. So we're glad to see that, and hopefully that can get done, this summer.
Yeah.
So, and I wasn't aware of the invoice, I don't think, for the 2,500, but they said it for 5 trees, and it was only 1. So,
I'll be checking on that invoice. Don't remember the one he's talking about. But I'm sure he knows what he's talking about.
we haven't seen it at all. Thank you.
Yes. I go out there every week. And I went out there on Memorial Day. Things can be better. You need more help. I think Jack is having a few problems with his workers. I see them every once in a while. They complain to me, but I'm not the one that you complain to. They should complain to the city manager. Old leaves and all those things, I checked that out. Yeah, they old. They've been there for quite a while, from last winter. The dumping that you used to have a problem, that's not happening anymore. Thank you, Mr. City Manager, and I also thank you, sir, for getting that gate locked at that certain time. I know that that gate should be unlocked between morning to maybe 6, because they be having funerals and be going in and out. But after that, when the gate get locked, there's no more illegal dumping. There are a lot of gravestones that's been knocked over probably by the weather. And I believe someone had gathered them up. They're very old. We don't have any more people that I hear vandalizing in graves. But for one thing, as I'm looking at these pictures, that will be very appreciated if you start doing, this is unnecessary. I see 2 Henderson bottles there, right there in one grave. All this fencing and stuff, when you come down Napier, excuse my French, but that's ghetto. We know that, that's ghetto. No other grave has that. And I done been to the one in Niles, St. Joe, Water Police. I've been visiting these grave sites. They look good. Now the one in Battle Creek, which one day I will be there, that's gonna stay looking good. That's all that matters. They have the staff, they have the funding, they have everything. I am new to this board, so is the Madam Chair. Been there maybe a year. We're doing all we can. Charles, City Manager. Like I said once before, I used to walk that graveyard 8 years old. There's nothing like that now, but nothing can get done overnight. But what can get done overnight is getting progress in progress start being made. I myself, and the Madam Chair, she said she would be coming out every 2 weeks, but I do go out there every week. And I know that somewhere down the line, this is gonna stop. It takes time. It takes a crew. City manager said we hired someone that used to work on the books. I heard about it, and he's right. She was here. And I'm hoping that sooner or later that we will pull something together as a team and get out there and help ourselves. Because I will be volunteering quite a bit myself. I'm retired now. I don't do anything but just I'll be able to go out there more often. So by this being said, appreciate all the comments from the citizens. Just gonna happen. On my part, I know for sure that I'll be out there. You will see me. Thank you very much for everybody coming.
So in closing, I just want to reiterate to get a schedule of Mr. Campbell's schedule. And also, I'm going to go over the contract. And and the schedule of the roads that are supposed to be started to be repaired out there as well. So, with that being said,
one thing that will help a ton is whoever you put in that office needs to know the layout of the cemetery so they can double check where the graves are going to be dug and that type of thing. If you don't have anybody in the office able to do that, you're counting on only one person, and that creates problems. At my other locations, every grave is checked by at least 2 people. So whoever you put in there needs to know the grounds, not just paperwork.
And how can they know that? Do they actually have to go and view the?
Either they already know it or they have to learn it very quickly.
I have something. When I was out there Memorial Day, and this is my understanding, whether you have a gravestone or not, there's supposed to be a marker right there saying who's in that grave. I stumbled across 3 or 4 graves that didn't even have it. I mean, they didn't have it at all. And they had a piece of stone there. In fact, I went to my father's. I ain't seen his yet either. He was out there last year. I don't know what's going on now. Because even the reason why we know where his grave is, because it's right cornered by a a man named Dr. Baskin Brown, but we know that's not the servant, that's another Baskin Brown. And if we didn't know where he was, we have no idea. So what my mother did, she put a brick something down there with his name on it. And so I went out there and said, I'm see if it's a marker, not a marker. Now, there's a lot of graves out there that don't have that. So when the new lady come on again, the graves that's already there, we got to make sure it's a marker there. I don't know if it's gonna be a brass, aluminum, or a plastic, but it got to be in the ground and it got to be above it a little bit. You know, not too far, but you have to have that.
The grounds guys know how to find those discs. They're not all up. And the reason for that is that if by chance there's any vandalism, the worst vandalism you could have in that cemetery is for someone to come in and take every ID disc out of that cemetery. And that would be the worst vandalism you can do in a cemetery.
I knew it might cost a little bit more money, but I had spoke with a person at some of the graves, other graveyards.
Mhm.
When you can pour a cylinder of concrete.
Correct.
But when you put that cylinder down there, this got to have like some type of spike of nails in it. And when you put it down in there, and then they'd be able to pull the whole thing up, which would be hard.
Right.
I mean, that, you know, I did a little research.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying,
Yeah, now each grave does not have that.
no, it doesn't.
And none of my cemeteries have it on each grave. There's a reference point where you can measure off of to find the exact grave. So every grave in my cemeteries do not have an ID disc on
In North Shore,
it. And no,
my auntie out there.
Mhm.
I've been there. I found hers, you know. Now, this is my understanding is that when you have a grave, I went out to one of the cemeteries, it said A, B, C, D.
Mhm.
That means whoever in that row, and A can go so far out, and you can see it marked off. So someone should be able to come in that graveyard, look and look on the office or a board that you can put in the ground, a big old deal, standing out there, a board with weather covering over so it won't tarnish, and they can have something on there. You can look and say in A section, and you look at the marker numbers. You don't have to have the name. You just have the marker number. They'll have the name inside the office and say Joe, John Doe, A763, section 8. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It used to be one out there a long time ago, back in the 60s and 70s. When we used to come to the grave, we'll come and look on the thing, and some of the relatives say, "Oh, that's where she at. That's where he at." That's how we found it. It's not like that no more. I'm just saying what we saw.
When I took it over, right before I took it over, I went out to witness a burial, and those ID discs were being thrown away with each grave that they dug.
That's kind of sad.
I know.
But for some reason, don't get me wrong, I ask these funny questions at these different grave places, and I'm going some more. I ask them about that.
Yeah.
That's unheard of. But in Benton Harbor, it is. I don't understand it, but why would somebody want to be empathetic and mess with something like that? But still, now, even though it happens, the best thing we can do, like I say, it costs us more money because it will keep down a lot of complaints and a lot of upset people. That marker should be placed in the ground where even when you take your lawnmower and cut over, because I've been to plenty, and Riverview, I've been to theirs. That's pretty big. And the grave taker there, the groundkeeper, he said, yes, it got to be this way. And I looked at those markers in the grave. They're easy to find. You must be able to, you gotta be able to see them. Easy, even little kids should be able to see them. You got to be, when they cut around, they weed around everything. So I guess what we gotta do, and we're gonna try, we'll do our best to get it back to basics. And then from there, we can go from there. And like I say, you've been around a long time. You've been doing a good job. I understand that. And I saw how you do out in North Shore. That's perfect. I like that. And your grades is like that for a reason. I believe there's no stones out there. You might have a chair out there or something, somebody sit down, but it's easy to manicure and it's easy to do. But where we at, we have to weed and everything. And that's just the way this graveyard is custom. So again, I'm just giving a few suggestions, and I just know I didn't see any markers, and hey, sometimes, even with a plastic, you can do it. But you gotta have a spike in it to put in that concrete.
Typically, we take the metal detector out there to find it.
Well, that'll work. And if that's the case where the growth is over, we gotta clear it out. We gotta get it cleared out. In order for that metal detector to find, it's just like a water thing. How you find the water, it's the same thing. And that's the best way to go. And we need to do that, because when I was out there, I helped some people try to find their loved ones, and I understand. That what made me try to find my father, and he wasn't there. So I just said, well, it happens.
So did George try to help you?
I didn't get a chance. When I was out there, matter of fact, I came back on his birthday too. There was a lot of people out there. So I tried to do the best I can. Also, trash cans. I took a lot of people garbage from there. They had it in the garbage bags. And what they did, they said, well, can we sit in the corner? No. Because you have dogs will come out there and tear if they smell anything. Or you got people that may just tear and throw it over the grave. We need the garbage cans out there. That's a must. As a matter of fact, that will help keep that graveyard pretty decent, because when Jack and them cut, sometimes when they're cutting over paper, and it just go everywhere. So, it's to get somebody to pick that stuff up. I know it's a pain, but when you, like she said, you pay to do it, just do it, because it'll be a better situation.
Well, if I may interject with that, plus we need to end this meeting. If they're cutting over paper, that's their job to clean it up. It definitely is.
Pick that paper up
yeah.
first.
Exactly.
Well, what I was saying is, you got people that come and throw stuff down
Right.
with cars.
Right.
And they take the flowers and they ain't got to throw it.
But if we got somebody maintaining the
Right.
graveyard, the yards, at the end of the day, that's their job. That's what they're getting paid for. And yes, we do need the trash cans out there. But it's a work in progress, and we're going to get there, especially by finding out what his schedule is, and looking over his contract to make sure that he's following his contract and not getting just paid to not fully execute it, because that's not
According to
okay.
George, whenever we requested an area be mowed, because we're gonna do a burial there, typically we'll have that area cleaned up.
Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. Okay. With that being said, I'm going to call this meeting at 4:45 p.m.
Thank you very much, I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yeah.